As a lot of you probably know, ever since this little system was released, I have been addicted, obsessed. I can't get enough of my Nintendo Switch. In fact, lately I went as far as going out and buying all of these third-party games just to check them out and see if they were any good. And spoiler alert, they're all so amazing, they're probably gonna be their own video pretty soon. And as amazing as the third-party support has been so far, Nintendo's exclusives have been just as incredible. We've already seen so many great games in the last year and a half, and there are so many more coming, not only in 2018, but within the next calendar year. And so today I have 15 of those games, 15 awesome Nintendo exclusive games. Who said the Switch didn't have any exclusives? It certainly wasn't me. And theoretically, all of these games should be incredible, unless one just completely screws the pooch and ends up being a mess, but I highly doubt it. So whether you've heard of these games or you haven't heard of these games, let's get excited for these 15 upcoming exclusive Nintendo Switch games. First up, we have a game that was announced fairly recently, and that's Travis Strikes Again. Fans of the No More Heroes series are getting excited to play Travis Strikes Again sometime in the next year. It's not quite the sequel that we always wanted, but the developer has stated it's a stepping stone on the road to No More Heroes 3 and hopes to make a true sequel to the series if this game is successful enough. I'm not sure what his standards are of being successful enough, but with all the hype around this game and No More Heroes 3 and the fact the Switch has been selling so well and the games are selling so well, I think it's safe to say we're getting No More Heroes 3, at least I really hope so. This game is an action-adventure hack-and-slash video game made by one of my favorite development companies of all time. You find yourself playing as Travis once again, being drawn into a possessed video game console, and you must fight your way through various games. It looks a lot like a blend of the No More Heroes universe with Fury, that indie game that I absolutely adore and I reviewed kind of recently. I think I reviewed it recently, I don't know. All my days blend into one. I don't even know where I am right now. Travis Strikes Again aims to play around with the history of video games and the idea of retro games. And you had me at hello. I can't wait to play this game. Oh, and by the way, No More Heroes 3 counts as one on this list because for the longest time, we were getting that game. That's what was being developed as far as everyone was aware. And I think at some point it shifted into this other Travis Strikes Again area. And now there's the will we, won't we get No More Heroes 3, but I think it's safe to say that we will. Mark my words, we'll get No More Heroes 3. And if we don't remind me I said that because I'll be embarrassed. An RPG I'm really excited for, Octopath Traveler. Set to release July 13th, 2018 worldwide, being published by both Square and Nintendo. So really soon for this one, and I can't wait. We have known about this game since January of 2017, and there was even a playable demo of this game in September of last year. So many of us thoroughly enjoyed what we were able to play in that demo and fell in love with this game immediately. Brought to us from the same devs that made the Bravely series on 3DS, Octopath Traveler is a turn-based RPG with a HD 2D aesthetic, very much like old school 16-bit Super Nintendo games. You play as one of 8 characters who all start their journeys in different ways. Each adventurer have their own ways of interacting with NPCs, whether it's challenging them to a battle or alluring them to become a follower. If you've been holding out for a new, exciting, and unique RPG, Square and Nintendo have you covered in July. Do you want to get Metroid Prime 4 out of the way now? I mean, you knew it was coming. So how about we just get it out of the way? Now, obviously we don't know all that much about Metroid Prime 4 as of yet, and if you've been following my channel for a while, you are probably as up to date with all the information as you can be, but let's talk about it really quickly one more time. Last year at E3, we were presented with a very short video of the game's presumed title, and this year at E3, hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about the game. What we do know is that the Metroid Prime series is really the only time Nintendo has ever dived into the first-person shooter market. Other than a couple N64 games and Geist on GameCube, this is Nintendo's first-person shooter golden child. And the Prime series is second to none when it comes to amazing, somewhat creepy, rich with adventure, frustrating puzzles, and yes, I just made up a word. Frustrating. Fun but frustrating. I don't know how anyone has ever. Is that already a thing? Frustrating? If it's not, I'm making it a thing right now, and I'm going to be saying it a lot more. Frustrating. I like it. Makes sense. The game is being developed by a new talented team led by the same producer of the earlier Prime series. And according to him, Metroid Prime 4 returns to its first-person adventure roots of the original game and introduces a new storyline that ties together the events of the Prime universe and takes the storyline in new directions. Are you hyped yet? Are you excited yet? This is my most excited and anticipated game, apart from maybe Red Dead Redemption, of the next year, so I cannot wait. Next, we have a game that shouldn't need an introduction, and that's Shin Megami Tensei 5. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think I said it right somewhere in there. Personally, I'm a much bigger fan of the Persona series, but I'm still really excited to see what this game is all about, as it's been shrouded in mystery ever since it was announced a year and a half ago. It's an RPG set in modern-day Tokyo developed by the great Atlus and produced by the same guy who directed Shin Megami Tensei 4. I think I'm saying it right. I feel like I am. The development team's goal for the game was to depict and sympathize with the characteristics of the times, such as unemployment, unease about retirement, terrorism, nuclear weapons, and problems at home. However, even though we've known about this game for quite a while, it only went into full-scale development in February of this year, so fairly recently. Out of all the games on this list, which I think will be coming out within the next year or so, this is the one that you might be waiting a little bit longer, but I couldn't leave it off the list because I wouldn't hear the end of it, and I am very excited for it. A game series that I spent maybe too much money on, Bayonetta, has a third game coming out, hopefully soon. I will forever love the fact that Bayonetta is now a Nintendo exclusive. The first game was released back on 360 and PS3. The second game was pitched to Sega, but they were suffering financial difficulties at the time and were forced to reject the title's development. But when the game's developer, Platinum, partnered with Nintendo to make the Wonderful 101, Nintendo also decided to finance and resurrect Bayonetta 2, which then became a Wii U exclusive. Fast forward a few years, and Bayonetta 1 and 2 found a home on the Switch, with a third game in development and on the way to the system. It's like an underdog story, and I love it because it's such a fantastic series. I love these games. There is still no release date for the third game, and all we have seen is a very small teaser trailer, but I'm going out on a limb and saying it's going to be the best Bayonetta ever. And you can mark my words on that too, and if I'm also wrong about that, please, I'll be too upset. Please, don't mention it. Just let it slide, shove it under the rug. But don't worry, because it is going to be the best one ever. I'm sure about it, absolutely sure. But if I'm wrong, don't. Here's something I haven't had a chance to talk about yet that I'm really excited about. If you guys haven't heard, if you haven't been updated, Monster Hunter XX is finally getting a worldwide release. I made a video recently called Japan-only Switch games that we should also get here, or something better than that. That's a terrible title. It had a better title than that, I hope. Where I talked about a little game called Monster Hunter XX. It takes the Monster Hunter generation games from 3DS, HDifies it, and includes a ton of new content and slaps it onto the Switch. Unfortunately, it has been slapped only in Japan so far. Thankfully, it's now coming out in August of this year everywhere else. Thanks to having no region locking, you could previously buy the game from Japan and have it imported, but due to the heavy amount of text that are in these games and how much you have to read, unless you are able to read or speak the language, you would have been more lost than RGT85 in a health food store. So you are better off buying this English version of the game now. Anyone that doesn't know who that is, it's like RGT85, bring up a photo of him. Oh, I get the joke now. Oh god, I'm so mean to my friends. Where's my water? Here's one you guys have definitely not heard about. Game Freak is developing a new Pokemon game for the Switch. Surprise! I know you knew. It's okay. We have talked rumors, theories, and possibilities a ton here on my channel, and with a game like this, of course, everyone and their mother has already heard a rumor. The latest one, as of recording this right now, is that it's going to be a Pokemon Yellow remake, split into two versions as always, and called Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. While I like the concept of a Yellow remake because Yellow was one of my favorite games back in the day, and my favorite Pokemon is Eevee, one thing I don't like about it is the Let's Go kind of makes me feel like the Pokemon Go app. While I do play Pokemon Go a lot on my phone, I really don't want those worlds getting merged. It's not an avenue I want to go down, and Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee sounds a little bit too much like Pokemon Go. All that aside, because they are just rumors, nothing that's been leaked or rumored so far is making me feel like it's going to be a brand new, exciting, innovative Pokemon game, which is what I've been an advocate for ever since we heard they were making a new one. So I really hope, for me personally, that at E3 we find out about some crazy new Pokemon game and maybe a Yellow remake spin-off on the side. Who knows? I'm excited to find out either way, but we're just gonna have to wait and see on this one. Smash Brothers for Switch, different name, same story as the Pokemon. However, we are much closer to being able to play this game than that new Pokemon game, because supposedly this new iteration in the series will be showcased and even playable at E3. The suspected release date right now is September, and I'm actually inclined to believe that for a ton of reasons I won't get into right now, but it makes a lot of sense. But who knows? Who really knows? All we know right now is that it looks like the game is almost finished. I mean, it's playable at E3, which is about a month from now. Everyone's best guess at this point is that it will be a brand new game for the series, but most likely running on that old engine they built for the Wii U. Everything points to that, and that theory makes the best sense, but then Nintendo barely ever does make sense. So again, let's wait and see. E3 is real close. On the distant horizon, a full-scale war is mounting in the new Fire Emblem game for Switch. This entry will mark the series' first return to home systems since 2008's Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn on the Wii, and geez, talk about secretive, Nintendo. Nintendo has always been king of keeping everything under wraps. Rumors are saying this will be a reimagining of the Fire Emblem series and will be quite different to previous titles. And looking at games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, big changes are becoming the norm from Nintendo at this point, and I really do feel like Fire Emblem needs that mix-up. Again, it hasn't been on a home system in a decade. I haven't played all that much Fire Emblem. I can definitely see this one being the one I play the most. We've seen a lot of the lovable character Yoshi and his new game, but we still don't have a full title, and the game's getting really close to launching. It's a 3D side-scrolling game with a classic Yoshi feel. The biggest change up for this one is you can flip the screen's perspective to solve puzzles and traverse the world from a different view. This game was announced last year at E3, so hopefully we can get a release date this year. And as a lot of you know, Yoshi is my fiance Kim's favorite Nintendo character, and actually our first conversation we ever had, you know, before we got engaged and were going to be married, was about Yoshi's Island. So you know that we will be picking this game up. I'm pointing to the door. Usually she sits there when I film. I'm pointing to the door that leads out of the house because she's at work. Like she's right out of this, because she left the house 5 hours ago, she's somehow standing right outside that door for me right now. Otherwise, why would I be pointing? Anyway, we're gonna play this game and we're gonna enjoy it in co-op mode. Aren't we, Kim? Yes, we are. Thank you. This next one's very interesting. When I first saw it, it didn't appeal to me at all and I really wasn't interested. But the more I see stuff about it and the fact that it is developed by Nintendo makes me think that maybe it won't be so bad and I should give it a shot. Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido is an upcoming action puzzle game developed and published by Nintendo for Switch and 3DS. It is set to release pretty soon on June 8th. The game takes place in a world where sushi has been made forbidden by its ruling empire, which would suck because hot damn, I love me some sushi. I do actually. I ate it the other night. I eat it all the time. I eat it too much. It's good. You play in one-on-one battles, matching sushi plates of the same color on a series of conveyor belts to cause damage to your opponent. And now again, for me, this isn't the kind of thing I'm usually interested in, but Nintendo has a strange way of taking the most simple concept and making it really addictive. And the more I look at this game, as I said, it seems to be really crazy fast-paced action, and it could be a really enjoyable puzzle game. There's quite a few indie games I have found that look very similar to this, and I've ended up really enjoying them. So I'm gonna give it a chance, and I'm excited to give it that chance. One of the most underrated exclusive Wii U games, Captain Toad, finds its way to the Switch on July 13th, coming up fairly soon as well. It's an action puzzle video game featuring everyone's favorite Toad. Actually, Kim hates Toad with a burning fiery passion. I have no idea why, but she can't stand the little guy. And I don't know why I'm still pointing to the door, like she's there. Stupid. You may have seen Captain Toad pop up in Mario Odyssey. Well, in this Switch version of the game, there are all new Super Mario Odyssey themed levels, as well as 2-player co-op, which is a pretty nice addition. Now I can force Kim to play as her favorite Nintendo character. It's a great game that lends really well to sitting on the toilet in portable mode and smashing out a few puzzles. Mario Tennis Aces, and I gotta tell you, I'm personally not that excited for this one because I don't do sports. However, out of all the Mario Tennis games, this is the first one that has really grabbed my attention. It does seem quite in-depth with its gameplay mechanics while remaining really fun. During the January Nintendo Direct, this game took up about 14 minutes, and during that time, they kept highlighting more and more techniques you can use in the game. Top spins, slices, lobs, zone shots, blocks, zone speed, and energy gauge, trick shots, and special shots are just some of the mechanics you are going to have to perfect if you want to take down your opponents both online and offline. I mean, it's tennis, but it's also Mario, so it'll be fun. Maybe I'll love it. I've been surprised before. Dragon Quest Builders is still addicting. And so the next time one of your Switch-hating friends says to you, yeah, but the Switch has no games, you know what video to share with them now. I've done a few videos now about upcoming games for the Switch, but they've been a mix of third-party games, indie games, things like that, and I only talked about the games I was really excited for, whereas a few games on this list I haven't even mentioned on my channel before, so I wanted to put together a conclusive list of the Nintendo exclusive big games that were coming out pretty soon, and as soon as I saw that there was 15 of these heavy hitters, I got really excited, and I kept looking at the dates and I'm like, July, August, this year, 2018 sometime, we're gonna have quite the Switch library by the end of this year, and especially in the next year or so. It's getting crazy. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned a little something, or if you just had some fun, remember to smash that like button and hit the bell because those two things really help me, as well as leaving a comment down below. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe because we become best friends and you can learn more about Nintendo Switch each and every week on this channel. Insanely thirsty. I've downed like 3 bottles of water while making this video and I'm still parched. Like I have cotton mouth all up in my mouth and I know you don't care, but I don't even have time to make a funny end joke like I always do. I need to go and get a cold bottle of water because I feel bad in my mouth zone. That's funny enough. See you later.